Brown, and I'm one of the 3 BGE year group heads along with Miss McClellan and Miss Anderson. Due to current restrictions, we've been doing presentations about S2 reports and S2 into S3 course choice. So we hope you find these recordings helpful. I will go relatively quickly through the slides, so if you want to pause at any stage, obviously you can read more about the information. Your sons and daughters won't have had first year reports last year because of lockdown, and there's also very little chance that we'll be able to do parents' evenings this year, I'm afraid. So these recordings are to try and make sure that you understand the reports you are getting as fully as possible. Before we do reports, teachers will be going through learning conversations. So that's talking about the work that's been done and trying to help young people to think about what the key targets are, what they've been doing well, but also what they can work on. Because of lockdown and social distancing, it's harder for teachers to speak one-to-one to pupils in class because there's not so much space, and it's more likely to be done as a whole class activity, but it is a really important part before the report even comes to you. Now the reports are with you, Pastoral Care will be going through a review in social education just so young people can look at their reports on the whole and think about how they can improve. All of these things, whether it's the learning conversation, the report itself, or the review of the report, are great chances to get involved with learning. So young people are encouraged to ask questions, to think about what they can do differently, but we also encourage parents and carers to get in touch if there's anything they'd like to find out more about. You'll probably be aware that your sons and daughters in S2 are moving towards the end of the Curriculum for Excellence learning, which starts in primary, and before they go into senior phase in S4. The government expectation is that almost all young people would be securely in third level by the time they get to the end of third year. So that's still 18 months away, so there's still quite a long time for young people to make progress. You'll see just a snapshot of a report here, and you can see from looking at this that the young person is at third level in 3 subjects and at second level in 1 subject, and that's absolutely normal that you'd have some subjects that young people would do better in and progress in more quickly than others. If the young person in second year is already in third level, then that's a really strong situation to work forward to as they go into third year and become more secure in all those skills and maybe look to go on to fourth level. So there's still a long way to go until the end of the Curriculum for Excellence programme. I thought it'd be helpful just to show you the information that we actually give to the teachers. So you can see in the left-hand column, that's the comment you'll have with you. And on the right-hand column is how we describe that to the teachers. So that just gives you an idea if you want to pause and look at those in more detail about how the teachers are thinking about your young person when they complete the report. Probably more important than all of that is effort, behaviour and homework, because no matter how good someone is, how well they're doing in a subject, they can always improve by just being focused in those areas. The effort grade was usually be around how hard they work when they're in class. The behaviour grade would obviously be about their conduct and their focus in class, and then the home learning about how well they're working out with the class. And those 3 things together, along with attendance, obviously go a massive way to making sure that young people do well. So please do contact us if there's any subjects missing from the report, if you have any questions about an individual subject or a report as the whole, or if you think your young person needs more support in any areas. I think there's 232 young people in second year, and each young person's got, I think it's 12 subjects, might be 13. So it's a lot of different bits of information being fed in from the teachers. It's not impossible. We don't think there are, but it's not impossible. Something might be missing. So please do just contact us if you think there's any missing information. Most importantly of all, and this is a message we've repeated again and again with S2s, is that the report is just a snapshot of how your teachers think you're doing just now. Okay, and you may have just had a really good few weeks or a not so good few weeks. Whichever it is, however you're getting on, it can always improve. And those things are very simple to help improve. Listen really carefully in class. Always follow instructions first time. Ask and answer questions in class, and that's one that probably young people are sometimes a bit nervous to do, but it makes such a difference if there's anything you're uncertain about that you actually ask the teacher, and just doing that little bit more of homework. We don't want or expect anybody spending every waking minute outside school working, but we do find generally that young people can do that little bit more in second year, and they certainly, once they get into third and fourth year, they really see the benefits. So it's quite early for us to be talking about S2 course choice, which is the second part of this presentation, but because the government have announced that S4s won't have any external exams, they won't do SQA exams, it's likely that we will be able to finish the S4 courses a little bit early and start the next year a wee bit earlier. So usually in June we would start the new timetable and S2s would become S3s. It's more likely that might be back a little bit in May. And if that's the case, we need to make sure that young people thought about their course choices as early as possible. So like I said, they move the timetable a little forward a little bit earlier, and it's important to start thinking now about the course choices. These would be the normal steps that we would go through before course choice was completed. I won't talk about each one in detail, but only to say that some of them there are big, large scale events where we might have visiting speakers, and we would have all the young people and parents and carers together in the assembly hall. Again, it's very unlikely we'll be able to do those things, but we will do our very best to make sure that pupils are well prepared before they make their first choice. This is what the sheet looks like. It's worth maybe pausing in this and having a look. You can see English and maths are compulsory in the first two columns, but after that you have columns of subjects, and then in the final column you have every subject that we offer. And you can see across the top of column C, D, E and F, there's also French in every column. So that's because, if I go on to the next slide, that's because we do something called free choice, which means we don't actually organise the columns at this stage. Okay, we wait until we see what young people want to do. Now that makes it a little bit harder for the timetabler, Mr. Hood, but it's to the benefit of the pupils that they've got a wider choice. The reason I mention this, because it's quite technical, is it's really important that young people think carefully about what they choose before they make their first choice. So if, for example, we had nobody choosing a subject and we said, well, we're not going to run it, and then a month later 20 people come back and say, oh no, actually in fact we changed our minds, we really want to do that subject, it's, it might be that we can't actually run it because the timetable's been set up already. More likely is that pupils won't choose combinations of subjects. So if nobody is doing home economics and drama, we put them in the same column. Now, if then some people came back and said, oh, actually, in fact, I do want to do both of them, in S3, it might be that we can't separate that. Again, that's quite technical. The most important message is make sure when you're making that first choice that you've given it good thought. Okay, so there's the sheet again. You can pause on that and have a look. There's always lots of questions about this sheet, but there'll be loads of opportunity. Firstly, with the presentations we're doing just now, also with the pastoral care team, we'll be able to speak in social education about them. There'll be lots of opportunities for young people to find out more. One of the ways that young people can prepare themselves for this is by going on our school website. You can go there now, click on parents, you can see in the kind of top left. Under that it says guides and advice. If you click on that, you will see this screen. You can click on personalisation and choice, and then once you've clicked on that, you get to S2 personalisation and choice. Again, you click on that, you'll get this booklet. Now this is the booklet that we used last year with all the different subjects we offered last year. The only possible change that we can think of just now is that we might be adding home economics into the course choice. It's not in this booklet, but we're hoping to be able to run that next year for S3. But apart from that, all of the subjects will be the same. So it'd be a very good idea for young people to look through this booklet from the website and start to think about what subjects they enjoy, start talking to their teachers, start talking to pastoral care, just get an idea about what they might like to do in third year, because it will take a little bit of time to go through the process, but it's really helpful if young people already have a good idea about the things they might want to do or the things they might not want to do. So we can give that some thought. That would be a big help to everybody. So really to round up the presentation, any questions? If they're about course choice, then they can come to me, that's Mr. Brown. If it's about anything else, the reports or anything that you're kind of concerned about, then the pastoral care teacher would be the best person to contact. Okay, thank you very much.